And welcome back to the channel that we're on, apparently. Of science. Definitely of science. And of
magic.
Lackadaisical shirt buttons. And magic. How else do you get that big physical shirt buttons? So anyways, how's it going, Joey? And invisible people who are also watching. All right. Thanks for joining us at the 11Z's broadcast here on the Lost Begotten Fake TV channel of science. I am your host, guy who tripped while he was cutting the grass. I got a haircut. Yeah. I cut my hair, and then she finished me off. I mean, she finished the haircut off. Then never mind. In defiance of the tyrants. No. Just preparing for the inevitable. And unleashing the Kraken, as it were.
The Kraken?
Yes, the Kraken.
Not the Kraken, but the Kraken.
The Kraken, yes.
Okay.
The crack-headed dragon of skullfuckery. Oh, that would take way too long to explain. Kind of like unleashing the crackhead, but different. So, anyways, this is really weird. I no longer have a ponytail. This does not look professional, dear. I don't know if I've notified you before.
Hurt. Damn it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You gotta let me be a little
like news people. Look at us. We're all professional and stuff. This is important.
There's your face.
Not really. Face, not so much. Not much importance here. Because we need you.
I don't wanna.
Once we're done with the other stuff.
No.
I know you have a report on the shit that didn't really happen today in New Orleans. Just. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a big deal, and then it was just.
Essence Fest comes out worse than what happened.
Right, Essence Fest. Blow that shit out the water.
Decadence Fest is worse. I mean, shit.
They should have had those protests at the same time of Essence Festival. That would have went really well. See how shit really plays out.
Oh.
You know, see where to balance an act.
That's where the heart of Black Lives
Where the Krilla really is.
That's where the heart of Black Lives Matter really resides.
Let's find out if white lives really matter.
Y'all don't understand. I used to work Essence Fest every year for 4 freaking years. Hated Essence Fest. Hated Essence Fest.
It's special.
I think Earth, Wind, and Fire played one year, and that was like the only like cool moment. But aside from that, just no. Just no.
I'm just like, for me, like, you know, I already lived in the ghetto, so it was like, you know, I got enough essence around here. I don't need to go seek it out and put myself in a position of being around a bunch of black people who don't know who I am.
I was making money for our spring band trip every year. That was my goal. I worked until my trip was paid off, and then if there were extra events, I worked for the extra money, for spending money. Because, you know, I was way too young to be in high school and obviously way too young to get a job.
I can't think of one friend who would have been interested in that shit. Terry didn't fucking go to that shit.
I never ran into anybody I knew at Essence Fest.
Nobody I knew went to that shit.
Oh, but there was a hell of a turnout.
Brandon didn't win that shit. Old Danny didn't win that shit.
And Levi sure fucked it.
Levi didn't win that shit.
uh,
Okay, I don't know if I told y'all yet. Or would that be inappropriate to name drop? Like, wait, I just gotta like, I didn't realize that Danny Granger was like somebody.
oh no, that's pretty awesome. I think it's funny that you didn't realize. He didn't realize,
I was
dude.
just like,
I mean, we're not big sports people in this house, but like when you go to high school with somebody who makes it in like the major league
that
type.
motherfucker's on ESPN. I see him get interviewed on what was it? One of the Sunday talk shows or something. He got interviewed on CBS News or something about his spot on ESPN and shit. I'm like, what? That's his name's right there. What the? And I didn't even know that he played, got hurt. I didn't know about all that stuff. Like I was homeless during that whole time period. Just lost track.
We went to high school with Danny Granger, played for the Indiana Pacers, and Sean saw him on TV on ESPN the other day, and it tripped him out because he had no idea.
Like it's just like
You do realize
somebody I bullshit with on Facebook. Or did back when I had Facebook. Somebody I bullshit on Facebook because I knew him back in the day.
You do know that Ellen DeGeneres went to Grace County.
Oh yeah, of course I know. That was before even my sister's time. Shit. Ellen don't look it, but she's got to be getting up there in years.
She's a cover girl though.
Go girl, you go Ellen.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
Get all them bitches. I mean, wait.
What?
Okay. Okay. Joey says in ancient China, warriors rebelled against dynasties by cutting their hair.
Hey, Carlos.
Cutting
Hey,
their
Maxima.
slave braids.
I have the braid. I chopped off the braid.
I wonder whether those were rebellions from northern kingdoms at the time, because that's they have a lot of different things that they call that now, but to me back in the day that was just a slave braid, and they would cut it to show that they were no longer slaves. Anyway. I'm wondering who this motherfucker is that I'm picturing right now. Terrible looking dude. Anyways.
Baby awake.
What's up, Carlos? What's up, Maximo? Thanks for joining us. We've had a long day. I started the day by catching clownfish, and then we did the radiator. We finished all the body work after topping off the new radiator. And I happened to have a whole pack of body clips, that I got for the Integra.
Thank God.
Never used.
For a reason.
And we used all of them suckers.
Yeah, turns out
it was missing quite a few clips.
Turns out I only had like 5 originally on the car for the entire splash guard.
You had 8 of them. 3 of them were broken.
Oh, I was really just guessing.
And there was a total of like 16 or 16 or something like that. Definitely an even number.
I don't know. I stuck a whole bunch on that one side. We had like
we went through almost a whole 20 pack of clips. So that was cool. It's always good when you happen to have spare parts. I bought back when I was building the motorcycle. Let me put a graphic up for those who might be seeing this who don't know the motorcycle. I found on eBay a lot of miscellaneous nuts and bolts for the suspension donor. Well, there's the center of the motorcycle. That's good enough. Anyway, I put a Springer front end onto this thing from a CT90 trail scooter. And I had ordered these just nuts and bolts and just random crap that was supposed to go for a CT90 trail scooter. And ever since I've gotten it, I've probably used it on 8 different cars. Just random little 10mm screws and nuts and bolts. And it was just like the best little spare parts buy I've ever made. And still to this day, we went out there, and I think there's now 2 10mm bolts and 1 10mm nut. Telemeter? A 10mm nut from the random eBay parts buy of a 67 Honda CT90 trail scooter is now on the CRV. There you go.
Hey, Joey, come get it.
Come get it, dude.
I'm sure my landlord will do a backflip. Should be very entertaining to watch.
That is already on there. That's Type R and suspension. One of the rims needs to be repaired. 3 out of 4 tires should still be good. I mean, they might be a bit dry rotted by now. They've just been sitting for 2 years now. That's not too long.
It got some floodwater conditioning.
0. Yeah, it got some floodwater conditioning. You gotta keep the moisture in there, you know. But yeah, you finish it up there and you drive it back, and then we can go to No Problem Raceway, take a track day out on it. I figure with the Type R suspension, it should be leaning back just how I want it for the hard braking that I do in them cars. That's kind of a newer cheater method for very uneven, bumpy racetracks with front wheel drive cars. And it allows for negative rear toe without sacrificing stability. Because what happens when you slam on the brakes in a car that's really heavy to the front is the rear wheels tend to come off the ground. So if you lean the car back a little bit, it has a chance to squat, and that rear doesn't have the angle to come up. So then when you go and hit the brakes and then lean into the corner, those rear wheels stay planted more, so their grip becomes more relevant. So whereas a front wheel drive car that you tune with the front wheels cambered out for all the grip and just like a normal level ride, you'd have the rear wheels kind of sitting straight and just made to slide around. Okay, well, this setup allows you to actually balance out the front wheels for tire wear to make them wear out less and heat up less, and then your rear wheels can kind of pivot and act like rear wheel steering when you tow them out and camber them out, which if you have an Accord or a multi-link Honda, you get extra benefit from that.
Damn it, Joey, you're trying to make him run off with my phone. Shh.
Oh yeah, Joey. I saw the $19,000 K24. Christ almighty. I I would know how to do racing on that level, but who, who hit the lottery that I'm not aware of? You know,
Right.
like, because that kind of motor, you need like I would want for that K24 a 2013 Civic Si with a stitch welded chassis, and that's probably going to run a pretty penny, and then you gotta do all the electronics and everything else, and then you gotta buy sets upon sets upon sets of freaking tires to actually go racing, and yeah, there's a reason why rich people do that shit. But I can sure as hell do the driving part. It's kind of making me want to go do my simulator. I haven't done that for quite a few days. I'm way too worn out to do that shit today.
I was getting ready to say, good Lord.
I might just do it just for that last little stamina workout for the night.
Don't even think that I'm doing it with you. After that sander today, no. Yeah,
it's a pre-existing condition.
That's yeah. So I've been doing some work over for my stepfather-in-law.
Yeah.
Is that the correct terminology for it?
Yeah.
And today I thought that I was going and scrubbing the floor of the garage, so I was prepped to do that. And I get there, and he goes, I'm not ready to do that part quite
yet. And he came out in the little thing calling her Danielson and shit. Said defense.
So I got bleach water, which even after scrubbing my hands and soaking in the shower, I still smell like freaking bleach. I scrubbed down the fence and then sanded it. I've never, ever, ever used an electric sander before. I'm old school. I believe hard work. You use a regular hand sander with your hand and, pride in your work. This thing was so dang heavy, and I was holding it for like 2.5 hours, like up and down that fence. In between the plants, no less, because you know how like all those big plants are like right there on that one side? Yeah, like trying not to kill them with my size 10 feet. And
is it a pneumatic one or an electric one?
Huh?
Was it running off the air compressor or was it running off the
No, I had an extension cord.
It was electric.
Yeah, Dave goes, plug it into the I didn't realize how many outlets they actually had outside, so I asked Dave where he wanted me to plug in the extension cord. He goes, oh, plug it into this little room over here, and you can just reach it all the way around the house. And I'm sitting here looking at where his finger pointed. He meant, like, outside the garage door and, like, over the fence and around. And I'm looking at this extension cord going, there's no fucking way in hell that this is going to go that fucking far. So I'm sitting there thinking, and you know how they got that one door that goes out on the patio that does not have the deadbolt lock on it because there's all that shit in front of it? I fed it through that hole.
Jeez.
Dave thought it was genius. He goes, that's a good idea. But anyway, yeah, so I did that all day. And tomorrow I get to paint it. Finish sanding and paint it. I retired.
So anyways.
And I took the kids out. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm done.
Trying to get through the previous week's topics here since we're going to start a new week.
Well, you got to say what you did today, so I was saying.
What's your
my update?
What's your take on the impending Senate and reconciliation process? So basically, there's been all this hubbub about the House passing the Obamacare repeal bill, and it looks like it's going to be costing around what I said, 24 million, 25 million people are going to be without health care. But now it goes to the Senate. Okay, so what happens from this point is the Senate is going to have a committee look at it. All right. And either that's going to go to the full Senate for a vote, or it's going to go to reconciliation, which means back to a committee into the House, and then bounce back over to the Senate for another full vote. And that process can go a lot of different ways, so I was just kind of, brushing over the vague process, the vague, possibilities of it. But basically, you're going to have a couple of committee votes, and it could bounce back and forth between chambers a couple times, or it'll get the full Senate vote. But if they change, I forget like what the requirements are, but if they change so much of it, then it does have to go back to the House, at least to the reconciliation committee or whatever, to be confirmed. If this, to confirm the Senate's changes basically, and then it'll make it to the president's desk.
I don't even know what to say about it, especially
to Hillary Clinton. Sorry, it won't make it to Hillary Clinton's desk. I misspoke. It'll make it to this fucking little gremlin's desk. They'll be sitting there, fucking chomping on some mogwais. Don't feed them after midnight. All right, so we're still not for about the World Trade Center contest. No uproar whatsoever. Of all the fucking things he said, I would think that one thing would just be like, really? It's better ratings than fucking 9/11. Ratings. Not. Of all the vain fucking stupid shit you could bring up. Yeah. To bring up that as a reference to, like, like. I can't even like think of another fucking thing that could be compared to it that would like be as just punchable. Anyways.
Hitler didn't use chemical weapons to kill his own people. That's just stupid.
Right, but that didn't happen in America, It's not like that shit was that long ago. That was 16 years ago.
Really? God, we're old.
But man, yeah, I would definitely hate to be one of the GOP only who sat and let propaganda run its full course at the cost of 25 million people's health care. Anyways, so a little follow-up on the saltwater aquaculture business planning. We are now going a little more smoothly with the Mai Tai Percula project. Posted a video earlier showing the plate, which is like the bottom piece for a potted plant that you buy with the normal pots that you put a clownfish in. I moved Mai's pot into the blue tub after I moved her back into her tank. So she got to see her pot go bye-bye. Okay.
She didn't try to bite you?
No. Then I put the plate in there. And since then, her and Little Man have been hanging out by the plate. She's been kind of bossing him around, beating him up the way a female usually does to a male. But she might be getting a little frustrated with him because I don't think he's fully mature as a male yet. So he can't do the little twitchy dance. And that seems to be like she's not rejecting him in any ways. She's just trying to get him to do his dance so that they can get on with their wow chicka wow wow, And
with their tubular fertilization.
She is definitely the boss of the relationship by far.
She's fucking huge.
She's this big. Okay, she's this big right here. about half the size of my hand, and then some. Okay, and he's like this big versus this big, and she could just take him in a few bites, man. Like
Probably one.
I'll get to that when I feel like getting to it. Okay. Anyways, so what we have planned for the future, and we're going to be looking into acquiring possibly one more fish to bond with my little partial Picasso. Going to try to get a Picasso. They normally sell them in pairs that come basically brother and sister, like they're siblings. Okay, so it's not really suitable for breeding because you're going to wind up with deformed fish. But if I take my little partial Picasso guy, get a Picasso from another breeder, and get them to mate, I could wind up producing some pretty healthy Picasso babies. And from that point, we want to acquire an onyx and just see what different kinds of varieties we can produce as far as Truperculas go. And reason being is because those Picassos and the onyx varieties sell for more money. So trying to increase the profit margin a little bit. Make it more worth all the painstaking effort.
That's the idea, anyway.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, what's the title showing?
I guess that's what I was just trying to figure out.
Alright.
Is that...
Anyway, okay, so I would like to recommend a new hashtag. Here we have today's little news slide here. Regarding the Trump-Russia investigation. Regarding the multiple Republican Russia investigation. No matter how long it takes, the importance of it can never be underestimated or understated, okay? What you have is a concerted effort regarding divide and conquer strategy being implemented in this country with some witting and some unwitting accomplices. And we need to have a campaign as enlightened, aware activists. And I think the perfect hashtag to correlate Trump Russia with this greater divide and conquer strategy that's been sort of controlling the way Americans fail to get along with each other. And that hashtag is right up there. Nothing else matters. Because when it comes down to it, flat Earth, whatever. Pick a little conspiracy. Pick a concern you have. Okay? It all ties back to this. None of those things can be addressed without addressing this. Hmm.
Oh, it's gonna censor me.
Anyways. Nothing else matters. Anytime you want to post something that ties fuckery together, okay? Anytime you want to tie another Republican or a far left person to the same misguided, false education that's been brainwashing our society for generations, that's the hashtag. Nothing else matters. Anyways.
Nothing, don't mind me.
Okay. So, speaking of hashtag nothing else matters, still no uproar about the World Trade Center comment?
That's mind-boggling.
See, what we have here is a possible imminent failure of the whole investigation. Okay. Or it's bigger and better than we hope. You know, I'm really trying to remain optimistic. But it's hard. Oh God, it's hard. Because there's something that I'm just not hearing enough about. Not hardly anything. Certainly not enough to be of to my satisfaction as far as where I think this investigation needs to go in order to be effective, in order to actually be a benefit to this country, to properly educate the American people as to what has been done to us, against us, dividing us against each other. And in short, that strategic analysis can be summed up as the positioning of strategic assets and how long they've been there in relation to what their activities were. Okay, so really the pre-positioning, like, you know, they've looked at excuse me, they've looked at the different collusive ties and when they happened. Okay, but what they haven't looked at is how long those individuals were being either what's the word, like prepped or buttered up,
Bribed, coerced.
not coerced, tailored to, oh, there's a specific word that's usually used for it and I can't think of it right now. Damn. But anyways, how long these people have been shaped through inadvertent means, molded and groomed. There you go, groomed. That's the word that they usually use. I knew it was a simple word. Fucking simple things always seem to escape me. Thanks, Carlos. And also, okay, not just how long these assets have been groomed as far as like individuals, how long they've been receiving certain streams of propaganda. How long have those streams of propaganda been in place? Okay, so how long has the effect, has the, the source of that grooming been in place? Because you need to know these pre-positioned things before you can even get an understanding of what went on here. Okay? Just like you need to understand why Trump built his towers where he did to understand just how deep this fucking collusion goes. Mr. No sensitivity regarding comments about a couple thousand Americans dying. Anyways. You want to bite on that?
Brick wall.
So, I think one of the most telling, as far as, in order to understand the plan, you have to understand how long that plan at least might have existed. Well, to understand that, how long has it been since the assets that wound up creating the fruition of that plan were deployed? How long have those assets been active in at least somewhat related or directly correlatable suspicious activities? Or, in the example's case, propaganda. Alex Jones. Okay. Alex Jones. I think we have a graphic for Alex Jones. Don't we have a graphic for Alex Jones? Here's Alex Jones. Alex Jones. He had basically an entire career that correlates in all of its confusion with the deployment of strategic propaganda assets by the FSB. And he has, everybody online worried about shills and agents and shit always wants to find out who's the control, who's the gateway, who's the real filter. It's InfoWars. Okay, they are exactly what they say. They are an info war from Russia without love. So, feel free to explain in what context you want to bring up redcoats, but I don't know. Paul Revere comes to mind, but Alex Jones. Do you know anything about redcoats, Mr. Alex Jones? Oh my God! The sweater wrinkles everywhere. It's covered in blood. It's like the menstruation cycles. Okay.
That's a pre-existing condition,
I think that was a pre-existing condition. I think Alex Jones has a lot of pre-existing conditions.
Alex Jones is a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, he is a pre-existing condition. Anyway, so I think we've had enough from special correspondent Alex Jones. But there's a lot of people that you can tell a lot about. Princess Stephanie, you know. How long have they been doing what they're doing in general? Did they just decide to take up this mantle along the way? Or were they positioned to do so from the beginning? Okay. So just go back to the pre-positioning of those strategic counterintelligence assets. And then you might actually have a real investigation going. Until then, you're just pissing in the wind. So, speaking of pissing in the wind, what's been going on in Nolens, our hometown?
Well, apparently, I didn't even hear about this until last night, so I guess that goes to show how much I've been paying attention to it. But there was a giant protest today in New Orleans around Lee Circle because of the monuments. Pro and anti-monument people collided, and I mean, it wasn't anything that you wouldn't expect. A bunch of people getting in each other's faces. Cops broke up a couple fights.
It seems to me like the icons were all clickbaity, trying to make it look bigger than it was for all the live streams I saw
Police
today.
are saying that about 700 people were there total.
So it's a fucking joke.
But ironically enough, I did hear. So you remember my friend Lydia, the one who gave us the tickets to the Grand Prix thing that we went to after we got married?
Yeah.
She works at BB King's down in the quarter. And she was leaving and on her way home and happened past the protest and, didn't participate. She's got no opinion one way or the other. But somebody called her racist. Right? I was like, excuse me? I was like, I can't even picture her even having a freaking racist thought. But that's where this has gone. People who aren't even participating are getting called out. And
I think hipsters should start protesting with Russian flags, asking for Putin to invade just to be ironic. They're hipsters after all. I mean, that's the most ironic thing you could do.
But yeah, so there was white supremacists and pro-Confederacy protesters and all kinds of stuff. And
people with too much damn free time. That's all it was.
Well, I mean, and this brings me full circle to the live stream from the other night. That the black lady sitting outside the monument.
My right to be a racist is being violated. You don't have a right to be a racist, dumbass. Oh, it's free speech. No, it's called being an asshole.
I mean, like, she was sitting there in support of it, and I don't know. This whole thing is just fucking stupid. Yeah, like you said. People with nothing better to do. And all the money that it's going to be that is costing the city to tear down those monuments could totally be used to better purposes. I can't.
So, here's the deal. This whole monument thing, it doesn't need to be happening right now, but it is. Okay. And, why What? Okay. Why those monuments are being taken down is because they were made by post-Civil War, basically, what's the Faradist groups? Yeah, Faradist groups. Yeah, and Faradist groups like to blow things up. Erroriste. We do Pig Latin. Erroriste. Yeah, Pig Latin. White supremacist groups. Several of which had killed multiple police officers. And, a lot of people have different ideas in their heads about why those monuments are there. So here's the deal. Opportunity is capitalized upon. There's always basically watchers looking for chances to get in and further divide people, looking for an action taken by one government or one politician or somebody here and there, a mayor in this case, that can be used for a greater strategic purpose. Now, a couple years ago, I pointed out that there would be something happening soon in New Orleans because New Orleans was the perfect strategic position for a beachhead in this country, for a long-term attrition-based war that would lead to the separation of California from at least 2 other subdivisions of the United States. And since I made that prediction, there's been all this shit going on in New Orleans. And since I made that prediction, there was a massive California separatist movement kind of made its way to a higher level of promotion than usual. All thanks to a guy who now went back to Russia where he fucking belonged a year later. Now, this monument thing, it's not, they're going to try to draw it out, but it's just not going to get drawn out as much as people want it to.
It's a distraction.
And it's, but while it is serving as a very good distraction, and it can lead to further justifications for separatist type movements in the South. Like they'll basically use this as propaganda in the future, right? As talking point propaganda. But as far as the immediate effects, there really aren't going to be any, I don't think. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
And it is a distraction. And you want to know why I'm going to call it a distraction? Are you ready to hear me out on this one?
Sure.
Because what's been going on? You're always telling me when I say something, bring up something that's absolutely retarded that's happening in the world. What else is going on? All right, what else is going on in our state while all these protests have been going on? You've got the GOP House sitting there trying to repeal Obamacare and take away our health insurance. All these pre-existing conditions. And at the same fucking time that's going on, our fucking state is getting ready to cut $160 million from our health and hospital system.
Right.
And y'all are worried about a couple of fucking monuments. I mean, I can't I just it doesn't make any fucking sense. Y'all are looking at something so trivial. Yeah, I get it. Okay, it represents something horrible. But you know what? There's a lot of things in the world that are still standing that represent something fucking horrible. That motherfucker's
That
one of
one
them.
guy had the best idea. Just change the damn names. Nobody knows who those people are anyways. Just change the name on the statue. And that way it's just Mr. This Street or something, like,
It's always got to be
call
about
them
the
random
one
fucking
thing.
people.
You do realize that these people did something else other than the fucking Civil War, right?
Right.
Andrew Jackson?
Had
Really?
nothing to do
Had
with
nothing to fucking do with the Civil War, so explain that to me.
And it's about.
You want to talk about offensive shit now? Fucking do something about this dude. That's fucking offensive to everyone.
Right.
This whole racism bullshit is Russia's divide and conquer, okay? Fucking get over yourselves. I can't. It's just too fucking stupid. I can't fucking deal with it. The fuckery has become too much.
Yeah, and I really don't have time to get into a conversation with someone who wants to debate whether or not racism exists. As a former skinhead, you're not going to get very far with me on that one. Anyways, so we are running just under an hour, and I guess that's all for the night. Let's see what actually happened today.
Macron won.
Macron won the French election.
Yes.
I'm glad my lack of enthusiasm for him paid off.
Russia didn't have enough time to fuck that one up.
Yeah.
They hacked those emails a little too fucking late to fuck that up.
Well, and they were ready for it too.
Well, yeah, because look what happened here. Fuck. I'm gonna talk about racism. You got the most racist motherfucker running this goddamn country right now.
And then North Korea has detained at least one more. I'm not sure whether it was one or two more, whether it was just some late reporting on the second one. But a couple days ago, and then a couple days before that, it has detained multiple now American citizens, citing different reasons, claiming people are spies. But it doesn't seem like he's Mr. Kim Jong-un is willing to fade from the spotlight just yet. And that's not his purpose. His purpose was not to be reinforced by Russia to avoid war. His purpose was to be reinforced by Russia so that we could be drawn into war. So he's not giving up on his orders from the Mongol master there. And now, speaking of Mongolians, I've been watching some old war documentaries here and there. The more I watch, the more of them pop up. There were definitely a lot of Mongolians who were already very good with tanks in the early Soviet conquests of Manchuria, Japanese Manchuria, and possibly in Vietnam as well. At the Battle of, what was it? Ben Tet or Tet. The fucking little L-shaped ridge valley. God, I forget what the name of the battle site is, but it was the Americans had 3 tanks sitting up there, and it was like this one ridge base that was covered by a couple of little bigger mountaintop bases, and they could hear tanks and they called, and higher up said there, oh no, there can't be any fucking tanks up there regarding just they couldn't fucking believe it because the North Vietnamese weren't supposed to have any tanks in the area. They were only supposed to have them up guarding the capital. So they said it was just bulldozers, and they were just trying to clear the road so they could move more easily. And then, sure enough, a bunch of tanks opened up on the whole base, and everything went to shit. And they had been doing mortar and artillery attacks since then. Now, if you want to ask your question, re-ask your question, man. Ask your coherent question. Talking to our person in the comments who seems to want attention. Just, if you're going to speak to me, you're going to speak respectfully. Period. And coming in here demanding me to get on a specific topic when it's actually not in the title seems kind of fucking silly. Anyways. Speak now or forever fold your crease. Because it's time to ride. Happy trails to you.
Be gone, demon.
Okay. So anyways, I had a proud moment of okay. Would you like to read the title? I had a proud moment. I don't know if you're if your computer is just too infested with spyware or whatever to see the title of the video, but that's not the title of the video.
The title of the video says Trump-Russia investigation, hashtag nothing else matters, and it's being done wrong, hashtag resist.
Now, if you'd like to see what, they're hiding, I think I've discussed it before. Did a hell of a flat Earth video, what flat earthers are hiding yesterday. So you might be seeing a glitch of that title. But anyway, I had a geeky proud moment earlier watching the Saturday Night Live thing.
That you watched without me?
I only watched a couple. I refrained from most of them. Did I refrain from most of them? Jeez. So, they were doing like a morning Joe thing, and like they had old girl, the one who played Hillary, playing Mika,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know who was playing Joe, but they wound up like getting all like freaky deaky, like they couldn't hold back against each other, like, and then like Bart and the people playing like the other guests, and they would cut to them, and they're like. So then they had John Miller called in, and it was Baldwin doing Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he did Cinco de Mayo, which is a holiday in which everybody puts mayonnaise in a sink.
Cinco de Mayo.
and just the other day, I was like, "Hey, baby, it's Cinco de Mayo. Let's start a meme and take a photo of mayonnaise in a sink." And we decided that our sink was too dirty and we didn't feel like cleaning it. So, anyways,
at least not that very moment.
Anyways, sink with mayonnaise in it. And yeah, great minds think alike.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know Alec Baldwin's was like was like my soul brother from another mother. But I thought that was funny. And I'm a dork. So I spoke about it on a fucking video. Because I can. Because I cut my hair. And I can now, I can get away with more things. Like hats with Velcro. So anyway. I guess that's it for the night.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for your comments there. For what it's worth, lots of one guy over and over again. And Joey, what do you think? $20,000 too much to pay for a motor? Yeah. $20,000 is way too much to pay for a motor, man.
Oh my god, give me $20,000 and I'll be on that piece of property.
That's why you want to get into like the classic series, you know, so you can race old pieces of shit like I do.
So that way when you wreck them, you don't feel so bad.
And with swappable Hondas now becoming classics, it's like the perfect time.
Right?
Because like the 92, 93 OBD1 bolt-in swap Hondas, H22, pick a car, put an H22 in it, go racing. Oh, it almost sounds affordable. Anyways, so I hope y'all had a good weekend, and thanks for joining us. Click the like button with the little thumbs up icon, and make sure you're subscribed. Check your subscription if you are a subscriber, because it might have disappeared, like, you know, Donald Trump supporters. Where are they? Bye now.
Back to the place I don't understand. I know I've gone. It's in my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door. The way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love them, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand.